Welcome to round 2 of the 2017-2018 Asian Le Mans Series. I'm Nadia Nash, greeting you from somewhere very near the base of Mount Fuji because we are at Fuji Speedway in Japan. So yes, expect cooler weather. Last I checked, it was about 6 to 7 degrees Celsius, and that cold weather played a major part in how the car is going to perform, how the cars performed yesterday. Well, some cars did better than others, as we can see in the pole positions. Qualifying sessions that took place yesterday. Leading the pack in LMP2 was Team BBT, and coming in at the top for the LMP3 class was KCMG, and in the GT class it was car number 91, FIS Team AAI. So let's see how things will stack up today, because in this round not only do we have a new team entry, but also we've got new cars and also new drivers. So surely a very exciting 4-hour awaits you, whether you're catching us from America, somewhere in Europe, or anywhere in Asia. Now, I know two gentlemen are very excited to speak to us as well. Let me introduce them to you. We've got Jeevan Selvanathan and Graham Goodwin, our commentators. Guys, how are you guys doing?
Thanks a lot, Nadia. Yes, we are constantly excited in the commentary box. My name is Jeevan Selvanathan. That is the beautiful Mount Fuji, and sitting next to me watching that beautiful Mount Fuji is the editor-in-chief of dailysportscar.com and the voice of Radio Le Mans, Graham Goodwin. Graham, what a mountain that is.
It's beautiful, isn't it? First time, 10 days here. I've been in Gatemba and Fuji Speedway this year, the first time I've seen Mount Fuji, and she's picked her best for the final day.
We have got Rookie of the Year, Thomas Laurent, with us from Jackie Chan DC Racing Team. So you are not starting yet, but we want to talk about the fact that you are Rookie of the Year, getting your golden license and whatnot. It's a great year for you.
Yeah, for sure. A great year so far. We did some really good races in WEC, Le Mans particularly. We won Le Mans. In LMP2, we finished second in overall in Le Mans, so it was a really good race for us.
The start of the season came just a few weeks ago in the People's Republic of China at Zhuhai. Let's have a look at what happened there.
The 2017-2018 Asian Le Mans Series got underway here in Zhuhai, and all the cars were off to a flying start except for the ARC Bratislava cars, you can see here, off in the gravel early on. But the early pace would be set by the Jackie Chan DC Racing Team. They were on fire the whole weekend, and their first driver, Thomas Laurent, would set a big lead. Their other car, their other entrant in the LMP2 class, did have a bit of problems, but the BBT Ligier was always on their tail. Pit stops were ever so important in the LMP3 category, and in the end, as the sun set in Zhuhai, it would be the KCMG team that would take home the honors. In the GT class, a real battle between the two FIS Team AAI entrants, the BMW M6 GT3 and the Mercedes AMG GT3, and of course, trailing the pack would be the Tianchi Racing Team Audi R8 LMS. Checkered flag then in the end for Jackie Chan DC Racing in the LMP2 class. In the LMP3 class, it was the KCMG number 18 car that would take top honors, and in the GT, it was FIS Team AI.
We're going to be going back down to the grid, and we've got Nadia there, and I think that's Marco Ciocci she's going to be speaking to from the new Ferrari with FIS Team AI.
We know that you have a wealth of experience before joining Asian Le Mans, but what is it about the Asian Le Mans series that made you want to join?
For sure, it's a very tough race, and it's an honor to be in Fuji, and we want to make something special because this is a track that all drivers want to win once in their career. And Asian Le Mans Series we know is very tough, and BMW want to win as well, and Audi. So we know that we will not have any kind of gift, but also we don't want a gift to anybody. So we will make our race. We made a good job with Ollie, with Yamlen, so we think we are able to make something good. We have to be focused on ourselves, and we'll see at the end of the race where we are.
Let's have a look back at what turned out to be a very interesting qualifying session indeed.
So qualifying got underway with 15 minutes for the combined LMP2 and LMP3 field. It would be the team BBT Ligier that was out first, with the Jackie Chan DC Racing Orekas soon to follow. A few minutes later, it would be the turn of the GTs. Jesse Krohn in the number 91 FIS Team AI BMW M6 GT3. Late to the party, 5 minutes into the session before we saw the BMW. Marco Ciocci topped the times at a couple of points in the 15-minute session in the debuting Team AAI Ferrari 488. Tianchi Racing, the early session leaders in the 66 Audi, but it would be the number 91 car, FIS Team AI to take pole position in the GT class. The temperature is coming up, you know. It's a couple.
That's actually warm. That's relatively warm, 8 degrees.
Get into the shade. It is freezing cold here, but in the sunshine, which most of the track is at the moment, pretty good. Breath of wind, but that's all we've got.
Yeah.
It is a glorious early winter's day here. Cars are underway on the formation lap. They'll be hearing Eduardo Freitas, our race director's instructions in their ears as they come back round towards the completion of the lap to form up 2x2 tight formation. And then he'll make a decision as to whether or not it's going to let them go. There is the grid, headed by the number 37 car from Team BBT. Then alongside on the front row, the number 8 Jackie Chan DC Racing Orica. Second row, the second of the Jackie Chan DC Racing cars, the number 7 Orica. 33 Eurasia Ligier completes the second row. Then the first of the LMP3 cars from KCMG, alongside another LMP2 car, ARC Bratislava's Ligier. Didn't quite get up with the leading order. Win Motorsports Ligier, the number 1 car, the Asian Le Mans Sprint Cup champions from this year, and the 65 Viper Racing team with James Winslow joining the team this time out. Then it's the third of the Jackie Chan DC Racing cars, this time their LMP3 entry. Alongside on that row is the leader in the GT class, the FIS Team AI BMW. The pace car will now pull over to the right. It's a long run into pit lane, as you can see there. And now the car's getting into that grid formation. It's the second gantry, it's the start gantry for this race. That looks pretty neat and tidy to me. Let's wait and see whether or not Eduardo Freitas actually agrees. And it's very soon going to be pedal to the metal and knocking on for 500 horsepower from those leading cars in the LMP2 class as they come piling down towards tricky turn 1. Watch the lights. They're at red. Watch them going out. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Red lights on.
And they go.
And we are go for the 4 hours of Fuji, and it looks like Pippo Durrani has kept his line very nicely, and all the cars compacting into turn 1, and it is indeed Pippo Durrani, but that it looks like the Jackie Chan DC Racing team is just right up alongside him.
It's Anthony Liu actually is taking the start in the number 37 car, side by side though with Stefan Riquelme. Riquelme, the more experienced driver, goes through. It's only Anthony Liu's second race in an LMP2 car, gets side by side with the second of the Jackie Chan Racing cars, and there's almost contact there. They stay out of trouble. That is David Cheng aboard his car. He's trying around the outside of Anthony Liu. Now it's going to be a 1-2 for Jackie Chan, and the round goes.
That is Anthony Zhu that is now out, and it was in fact him that was starting in that BBT Ligier, but what a spin out from him.
He stalled the car but got it fired up again. That was close contention but no contact, just lost grip on the apex of that turn.
Now that's going to really affect him after a fantastic qualifying performance, of course.
A great start meanwhile from, I think that's the number 1 Win Motorsport car. And away they go, but it's 8 from 7. Stefan McKelvey from David Cheng, then Philippe Decombe, that's the top 3, and a bit of a mix-up there into turn 1. That's KCMG and Viper Racing getting involved in that. And again, no contact. It was the KCMG car locking up briefly in the hands of Louis Pret.
Now let's have a look at the replay of the start and find out exactly what happened.
David Cheng then up the inside, no contact there. Cheng over the curbs. It still stayed tight through the next turn. He stuck with the leader, but it was behind.
And this is where it was.
Now this is where the spin happened.
Wow, look, it may have been a bit of contact there.
Might have been.
Wow, that's
a very clear view of that, but recovering now, the 37 car up to 12th already. Anthony Liu coming back through the order. The race start is also under investigation. I wonder whether or not that might involve perhaps that number 1 car. So there was a bit of a mix-up ahead of it on the grid.
Well, the benefit of replays did look like there was a little bit of a touch then, so unlucky for Team BBT and Anthony Zhu at the wheel. They're now currently in 12th overall because of that, so still running, but do you think there's any damage to that car?
I don't think so. If there was a touch, it was very light indeed, but that's all you need on the limits. Stefan McKelvey, meanwhile, is absolutely herring away in the lead. He's already 8 seconds ahead. Rick Breukers, though, is beginning to close in on David Chen 4 seconds, so the ARC Bratislava car, the number 4 car, is beginning to get into terms with the leader. In LMP3 behind, that's the yellow car there, LMP3 behind, the Win Motorsport car in the hands of James, in the hands, sorry, of
that's Philippe Decombe in the Win Motorsport car, followed by
Louis Pret, who had that run wide at turn 1. So we've got battles at the moment for second position overall and then LMP2, and a close battle here for the LMP3 lead between the Zhuhai race winner, the number 18, and Win Motorsport, who did not have the best run in Zhuhai, looking to get their season back on track here in Japan. falling into the clutches of the flying Rick Breukers, the vacuum-registered team. Rick Breukers, Dutch driver, and the reigning Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia champion.
That's what we're watching on the screen right now. That is the battle, and there's just 1 point. Well, it's just under 1 second between them, as you can see. But a big shout out to ARC Bratislava, of course, one of the longest running teams. They have a very solid unit, had a very good outing at Zhuhai as well, and in the top 3 here.
Back into the action in GT. These are the two FIS Team AAI cars running at the moment, 13th and 14th. Zhang Chen in the number 91 BMW, head of Lam Yu in the Ferrari 488. Both come from the same stable in Taiwan. These two cars.
And I think we're going to see that Ferrari 488 just pull out now into turn 1.
It's not got room to do it. That is one powerful BMW. Both these cars with twin-turbo V8s, but it's tucked into the inside and done that easily. Has he outbraked himself? He's running wide. Is he going to do the over and under?
And that is a perfect example of that turn 1.
These are team cars. Come on, boys. It looks like for the number 99 TKS Ginetta, this is too early a stop for Shinyo Tano. The car has had some problems with electrics. The team getting to the cockpit to find out from Shinyo. Tries the old trick of let's flash the headlights and see if it makes him drive off the circuit. It didn't. It's all about pressure. If the man's watching his mirrors, he might miss a braking point. He might miss an apex, and that might give an opportunity for the younger man to go on turn.
And here he is.
And you know what? It did.
That's exactly what happened. Now, I was actually going to say on turn 2 especially that it did force David Cheng a little bit wide when he tried to go inside on turn 1. He made up a bit of ground, but David Cheng unhappy with that pass. He's looking to go in on the outside.
Not going to do it there. A good move from Rick Breukers. Minor error, but that's all it needed from David Cheng. They're both very well aware that very close now.
And we're going to talk to one of the engineers from the Ginetta team right now, there with Nadia.
Yes, we saw what happened to car number 99. I've got the perfect guy to speak to, Ashley from Ginetta. Give us a bit of an update of what happened.
So we had a problem with the steering wheel. The electrical connector on the back of it was broken. So we changed the steering wheel and now it's all fixed.
Right, it sounds fairly simple. It was just the steering wheel fixed and all good?
Yep, good to carry on.
All right. You heard it from the man himself, so let's carry on. Let's catch car number 99. Back to you guys.
David Cheng, the more experienced, he knows where he can put the car. He knows what he can see, he knows what he can't. Anthony doesn't, and that will show as the car goes up the inside, takes a position, will know where he can't see the car alongside.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That could just keep him out of trouble.
So many incidents, Graham, happening on that devastating turn 1.
It is amazing, isn't it? I think that might have been Hans Lin in the number 11 car, the Taiwan BGH Motorsport car. Remember, that car started from the back of the grid, has made its way up into the top 10. Here comes Rick Breukers to try and make a clean run by the Audi. Does so with absolutely no problem whatsoever. Good stuff there from both drivers.
Let's have a talk with the team principal from ARC Bratislava. Miro Konopka is down with Nadia.
I am at the ARC Bratislava garage with Miro Konopka. So you have Rick Breukers in the car right now. How are things going? You're doing very well as in car number 2.
Now it's a perfect position. Second is very good for us, but realistic is very long race before us, and we will see.
Well, at the moment, a fairly lonely run from the KCMG car. 6-7 seconds up on the closest contender, which is Philippe Descombes in the Win Motorsport car. Now there's 4 cars there. It's 2 LMP2 cars, including the leader. The leader getting involved there in the battle. The blue and orange car, and then the grey and red car. The first and fourth in that little bunch there are actually in contention. This is a battle for second position in LMP3 with 2 LMP2 cars in the mix there as well. That's number 8 car, I think, going by the Algar Pro car for the second time.
And of course, Graham, just one racing line for all 4 of those cars to be fighting for.
Frustration here for James Winslow. He's actually quicker than the LMP2 car ahead. Needs to be careful there that the driver has seen it drives on.
And definitely, yeah.
So James,
this is what we were expecting.
Nothing wrong there at all. Winslow now trying to set off and keep in pursuit of the Win Motorsport car. Frustrating moments here for a driver in a slower class as a leader comes through and into the mix. Just the body language of that car looking pretty good. About to deal with the TKS car. Still, of course, running in 15th position after that near 10-minute stop for the problem with the steering wheel. The issue there will have been that the 10 minutes will have taken them time to find out what the problem was.
Exactly, right.
So that will have been why it's up in 10 minutes. The frustration is it probably could have been done in 15 seconds.
And here is Nadia with the leader.
We are at the garage of Jackie Chan DC Racing Team. Two other drivers with us, Thomas Laurent and Harrison Newey. So you guys are doing fantastic. Car number 8 is out there at the top, unbeatable so far. How are you guys feeling?
Yeah, good. Well, we did a really good start. We tried to manage a gap of 53-55 seconds between us and the BBT car. And yeah, we tried to manage also the tires for the second stint, and we will see after.
Leader coming into the pit, Stefan Riquelme. 54 seconds to the good as he crossed the timing lines, and almost a minute in that 53-minute stint. So effectively, he pulled out a second a minute on the field.
That's fantastic stuff. Clambering onto the front bonnet, making sure that's a clean windscreen. Not that Stefan Riquelme has had any kind of other car in front of him, but of course could have picked up all sorts of things.
Riquelme staying aboard. Sister car comes to a halt neat and tidily now. That's beautifully planned by the team. As the 8 car leaves, the 7 car arrives. This is
efficient.
A well-drilled team, the Jota Sport team. Sam Hignett across here from Kent in the UK, Chinese flag team, of course. So this is going to be second place for the Team BBT guys very quickly, because the number 8 team car that was ahead.
Let's have a little look back at the first hour of the 4 hours of Fuji.
Started on a bright sunshine. Now Anthony Liu in the number 37 car from pole position, looking to retain that position, but Stefan Riquelme was wise to that move up the inside, drove around the outside, left the 37 car to deal with the challenger David Cheng. Was there a brush? There might well have been, but either way the 37 car went around and went back to the back of the field in the GT class. It was a clean start for the Audi, and then the 2 Team AAI cars in the hands of the gentleman drivers were left to sort it out, Ferrari and BMW. It was the Ferrari that made the move for second place and would pull away and hold that until the first pit stops. Anthony Liu making his way back, and this was him making his way through the battle for the lead of LMP3. There's trouble though for the Ginetta coming back to the championship here into the garage for 10 minutes with an issue with the steering wheel. It was the 66 car dealing with an LMP3 car. Patrick Byrne having just spun, but the 66 car leading comfortably.
And that was the first hour of the 4 hours of Fuji. It's a Taiwan Beer GH Motorsport car with a bit of a spin. Thankfully, not too much of a lockup, and also it was a dangerous part of the course, but now then off. And that's going to be a lot of pickup on those tires. Now, this was the BMW, of course, that topped qualifying. And as you pointed out, Graham, a big car with a big engine that isn't technically, if you look at it, supposed to do well on a track like this, but also they found the speed, and they're finding the speed now.
And Jesse Crone telling me at the press conference yesterday after qualifying where he set pole position in this car, fantastic under braking, really stable. It's you know, it doesn't look a delicate car, does it? It looks like a pretty
very big,
almost touring car-like, but that thing is an amazing handling thing.
Down to torque.
And the huge torque from this twin-turbo V8. So don't count it out. Chaz Mostert has proven his worth in this car.
Now, meanwhile, of course, that ARC Bratislava car has managed. Rick Boykers is still at the wheel there. He's managed to come through and is still in a wonderful third place. Miro Konopka going to be very happy with that. Now, this car, this Audi R8 LMS, is ahead of LMP3 and LMP2 cars, and that is amazing.
And those cars running at pace as well. He is, though, beginning to lose pace here. So this car, I think it's not going to be long before they see the car in, and as I say it, it's exactly what he does. He'd stayed in contention there. Chaz Mostert, maybe about a half of the start-finish straight apart, those cars. Remember, we think he'd overtaken the Audi to get back into the lead.
That's right.
It's now going to be about how quickly they can turn that Audi around, and can he actually retain that lead? I think he will, but by how much?
Now, here's a replay of some of the other things that was happening, and that was a big move on the inside. That TKS car, as you know, is really just about a few minutes behind everyone, but how about that?
This is all three classes in the same shot, really. That's a bit of a wiggle on there from the recovering Taiwan Beer car, steadily at the lead of the sister car to this effort. This is the number 7 car, still in the hands of David Cheng, another man who's been aboard for the whole of the race so far. And he's, what, 9 seconds back from Rick Breukers.
I'm guessing David Cheng, of course, as the same as William Locke, being the team owner, the team principal, can pretty much decide how long he's going to be in that car.
Well, remember as well, this is just a 2-driver squad.
That's right. Jasmine Jafar is his partner in this one. Ho Pin Tung had a racing conflict this weekend. Unfortunately, couldn't make it. But one of Malaysia's most highly rated drivers, Jasmine Jafar, who's also pretty fast in qualifying, will be taking over whenever David decides, I'm sure.
Peng Yu now aboard the Audi R8. He's the gentleman driver, and his pace is nowhere near either of the chasing cars. This is going to become a very close thing for all three cars within about 3 or 4 laps at current pace.
We know how fast Chaz can go, and just to prove it, just cuts in on the inside on a much faster car as well.
Dean Koutoumidis is beginning to struggle there. I think the fatigue is going to start to play. Very physical cars indeed, these little prototypes.
Pippo Durrani has just put in another fastest lap of 1:33.107. The gap between him and Stefan Riquelme up front, just as an update, is 25 seconds now.
Under half what it was.
Exactly.
Starts off the session. It's sparkling stuff. That is
amazing.
We said it might happen within the lap. It did. So Ollie Milroy goes through now to lead GT.
Oh, that is really significant, because that Audi R8 has been, and it was way in front, the BMW M6 from Chaz Mostert. So
Chaz is going to be through to second on this lap. 0 double, that's a big
that was a massive lock-up from a key car. I think Pippo pushed it a bit too far.
It's very, very easy just to kind of think, I've got him. Oh,
yeah.
To run wide. There we are, just enough to gather it up, keep it on the grey stuff, and pull away from Chaz Mostert. Chaz Mostert now he's in 3rd position, but just 5 seconds back, but he's way, way quicker than Peng Liu.
So Peng Liu
will be through, unless any dramas happen here, into 2nd position before the end of this lap.
Fastest man on the track, just behind him, the green Audi and the blue BMW. They are the top 2 in the GT class, and that is the 33 Eurasia Motorsport LMP2 just in the middle, causing a bit of traffic, you could say. But look at that you were just about to say Chaz could be coming through. He's trying on the outside. That becomes the inside as they move into sector 3, and you called it absolutely perfectly, Graham. There you go.
It was much the quicker driver, and it's barely a fair comparison in terms of lap times. It's a relatively inexperienced gentleman driver, Peng Yu, in this car, and his head there of the Taiwan Beer car. I think he had his mirrors full of Taiwan Beer car, and
then just locked it up.
It was power on from the curb there, lucky to keep out the barriers there.
And he is very fast indeed. As we look at the Taiwan Beer GH Motorsport team, that's Sean Thong, lightning reflexes to avoid the spin from Nerek Wei just a couple of laps back. He's currently in 2nd spot, I should say. No, in fact, 3rd spot in the LMP3 class. KCMG leading up front.
11 car goes through on the TKS car, which happy to say is back out on track. Now is right with the number 8 car, but of course does owe us that 2nd stop.
And now we have an exclusive interview with Stefan Riquelme, who's down with Nadia. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yes, we have all eyes on car number 8 that's leading the troop right now, and Stefan Riquelme just got out of the car. How are you feeling? How was that run?
I was starting P2, so the target was to pass the Ligier car the quickest possible. What I managed to overtake him in the outside of the first corner, so that was the first target achieved. And then was I had to push, but I knew that I have to do 2 stints on my tires, and didn't know so much the degradation. So I was pushing but not taking any risk. And it went well. Just now we see that the Ligier with Durrani they are quite quick. But I can give some advice to the team to set up or to help also the other driver to find a bit more pace to win this race.
Mira Konopka, it's going to be to climb aboard, the team owner, the car owner, and the elder statesman of this team. That will leave us
a lot of experience there, of course.
The leader in LMP3 in trouble.
That's turn 12 again now. So turn 11 saw a couple of spins, possibly some debris on there, but turn 12 now. Car 18 very slow.
He's very, very slow indeed in Sector 2. What should be around 30 seconds ended up as 42. He's stopped. He has stopped.
Well, how about that?
Now this could be time for race control to get involved here, either with a safety car or a full course yellow. Let's wait and see what happens.
Even the engineers in the pit lane wondering what could have happened. Remember, the leading car, Josh Byrne, is just watching, looking on, probably very close to his stint.
Absolutely.
That's really unfortunate.
Into pits comes the number 7 car from 3rd place. So the stop from Miro Konopka dropped the ARC Bratislava back down behind the second of the Jackie Chan DC Racing cars. This will be David Cheng coming in to, I'm sure, finish his stint.
Now, an important stop for David Cheng, of course, because Miro Konopka in that ARC Bratislava hasn't really been lapping that much slower than David Cheng, just maybe a second off.
Now, it is going to be a driver change. David Cheng will be getting out of the car. It will get Jasmine Jafar.
We're going to hear from the team owner, David Cheng, who's in the pits with Nadia.
Yes, car number 7, you just got out of there. How many hours were you in there, about 2+?
I'm not sure, to be honest, just a double stint, hour and 40 or so. So yeah, felt great. Car was, the start was really mega, but I think we try to compensate a little on the pressures since it's so cold out here. And, you know, right after the start, had a great start, got up to 2nd just behind my teammate. After a few laps pushing hard and the tire temps started coming up to a little too high. The other guys caught me up a little bit. You know, it was fun battles.
David Cheng should be happy. He's still in the race, remember, he was out.
Happy. There's no doubt he was pretty pumped up by that. He knows that him against the Stefan McElmy starting the other car was not going to be an even battle.
Yeah.
He would always know that he was going to have to chase that. It's certainly a far better story than they actually had to tell Zhuhai, but they're in the hunt here. They're very much in the hunt, and he'll be interested to see what his new teammate can actually do. They'll be looking for improvements in lap times from Jasmine Jafar as this actually progresses through the stint. And indeed, I think that's what we're going to be seeing as this settles down.
Well, we are now, as we are at the halfway mark, going to look back on hour 2 of the 4 hours of Fuji.
In we go. This is the leading car in LMP3 at the moment. But it's had to recover from that lurid spin through turn 11 and turn 12. David Cheng has another go at it before making the move stick. He's now handed that car over to teammate Jasmine Jafar. And this is where the GT lead changed deep into the 2nd hour for a great start for Massimiliano Visa, handing the car over to gentleman driver Peng Liu, and he was no match, I'm afraid, for Ollie Milroy, now aboard the Taiwan Beer GH Motorsport car. Inherited the lead is another problem for a leading car as the number 6 under pressure from the 11. Patrick Byrne having a half spin at turn 1 that would cost him dear. Drops him out of immediate contention for the lead. Took a while to recover the car, and into the first pit stop for Pipo Derani, just as the number 18 car rolls to a halt and out of the LMP3 lead.
In the shadow of Japan's stunning Mount Fuji lies a racing circuit that is known the world over. Boasting one of the longest straights in Asia and dramatic turns, the Fuji Speedway has seen some of the biggest names in motorsport create history. It is an unforgettable experience for all who get the chance to race here.
Mario Andretti has won the first Japanese Grand Prix.
世界遺産、世界文化遺産ということで、こちらも認定された富士山の麓ということで。
To be in this track, it's a dream. My dream is realized. I like Japan, and the people here is also nice, you know, and it's very famous at the base of the Fuji Mountain.
For almost half a century, the circuit has hosted all types of racing, from Formula One to the World Endurance Championship. And in 2017, it is the 2nd stop for the teams of the Asian Le Mans Series.
It's great to be driving in Japan, racing in Japan, especially in such a historic track like Fuji. I went, took a walk and saw the old circuit bend, and that was phenomenal. It's just a wonderful feeling. But you know, to have a picture of your car with Mount Fuji as a backdrop, I hope to have that photograph today.
This course is a special course because near Mountain Fuji and near Tokyo. So this course have a long history. I am proud of racing here.
At almost 5 kilometers in length, with 16 turns that undulate through the foothills of the mountain itself, the Fuji Speedway is truly like no other, posing challenges that have made it a dream destination for drivers both from Japan and around the globe.
It is very much impressive to me. This is my dream.
At the end of the day, you come and you're in awe of where you are, and that's the biggest thing. It's an amazing circuit to come to. It has all the facilities we need, it's a great track, and we all enjoy it.
As a Japanese driver, very proud to be racing here.
Britain's new world champion. What must he be thinking right now?
Nice, solid run so far. There was that spin out in hour 2, but doesn't seem to have affected the car too much.
Now then, number 11 car due in, but we gather is suffering from a bit of a problem with vibration. Now, whether or not that's an issue that is after the spin we saw for the car earlier, just flat-spotted tyres, Marco Asma is very much getting onto terms. I think we'll be through into 4th position ahead of Mira Konopka within the next lap. And Chaz Mostert now under 6 seconds back in the lead battle for GT.
This was the car that was leading the GT category for most of the race before Chaz Mostert and Ollie Milroy got into the FIS Team AI, Ferrari 488 and BMW, and they immediately, over the course, I think it was 2 laps, managed to get past Peng Liu. And now, of course, Peng Liu still behind the wheel of that car. Replay now, and let's have a look at the maneuver. That's Eurasia Motorsport and Marco Asma nicely taken on the inside, and Miro just gives up track position very easily. There's Ollie Milroy in the FIS Team AI, currently leading the GT class. And don't forget, in the P3 class, that Taiwan Beer GH Motorsport car is roughly 2 laps ahead. And there is that car. Well, that's something you don't usually see.
That's the seat insert for the incoming driver.
Fastest man in that BMW M6, and he cuts off the line.
Pops out just ahead of the overall leader. That is, and that's not the overall leader, sorry, that's Harrison Newey chasing down the overall leader, or trying to.
Well, he gets past this time, but that looked like intentional line cut-off, actually.
I just think that was Harrison decided he wanted the line, and Chaz decided, oh, sorry, yeah.
I'm already going fast enough, yeah.
There's been all sorts of dramas for this team through the weekend. We're going to go down to speak to Sean Tong, who's just out of that car, who's down there with Nadia.
Yes, I do have Sean Tong, who just got out of the Ligier. You're looking okay. I heard there was some contact out on the tracks. Tell us a bit about that.
No, not really. But there's just some vibration from the tires. Maybe it's balancing or pickup, because there's quite a few cars running, and sometimes it's normal to go offline to overtake some slow cars. So I think maybe it's just pickups or a balance problem. But the car is great, and I think after the first 2 sin, we make a really good recover from the back, and now we are leading the class. So finger crossed. Let's hope it stays like this for the remaining 2 hours.
Number 7 car does not want to lose a lap to the leader, but the number 7 car, in holding that position, can of course help the team car, the number 8. It's 27 seconds back from this. Can't block, that's not allowed. Doesn't have to make it easy.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to make it easy at all. And there's a great many things you can do to, of course, just make your intentions clear, even though you are not in contact, except in your mirrors and through your windshield. And here we see Pippo Derani just looking for position. He wants to get past these cars as quickly as possible. This is a nice little collection of cars that we've found. Pippo just behind them.
And the Vaponesa Racing Team running now in 3rd, troubles for 3.
Wow, he's out there.
Yeah, it's because he was watching his
once again, yeah.
The leader was, but he's about to be lapped, by the way, by the 2nd place car, because Guy Cosmo is going pretty quickly at the moment. He's closing the gap to the leader. Hans Lin at the moment I think it's around 35, 36 seconds.
If those had happened in the first part, now that is the BBT team, and I think they're looking ready for a pit stop. This might be, Graham, where we see Davide Rizzo actually get in the car.
Well, the Davide Rizzo, the flame-haired Italian, is ready to go. And my guess would be this will be a double stint for Davide Rizzo to the end of this race. So we're ready now for this car. It will be this lap. They won't have brought the tyres out if people are going to go by again, because the warmth that's been generated by the tyre blankets that they're using, well, exclusively here with the cold weather in Fuji in the Asia Le Mans series, they won't be bringing those out. There he goes.
There he is. Had to be. It's good to see that happen, and of course this will be Davide Rizzo has already proved his worth in the Asia Le Mans series, had a fantastic run out at Zhuhai. 20 seconds, whether it's 50, it was 53 seconds at one point, it went 58 seconds the other way, now it's about 20 seconds, so it's going to be really hot action in terms of track action all the way in the LMP2 class right till the end by the looks of it.
That's a tumble out from Pippo Derani.
And look at that, Harrison Newey's in as well.
There we go, matched lap for lap here on strategy. This is going to be good stuff.
Davide Rizzo out of the pits first. It looks like they're taking a little bit longer.
I'm not sure. I think they may change the driver, and I think they might put Thomas Laurent into the end of this race.
Well, that's a great change in itself.
Which basically, what they're doing here, I think you'll find that this will pop up must be Thomas Laurent, not Harrison Newey. Let's keep an eye on it.
And we're going to be talking to Pippo Derani, the previous driver of this car. He's with Nadia. Let's hear from him.
How important was that little pit stop?
I mean, the pit stop is always important. You can lose a lot of time if you don't get it right. So we had a great double stint. In the end, I was behind car 7, and I got a lot of oil in my windscreen, so I couldn't see anything for 10 laps. So I was looking for the lines on the side, which were the windows that were clean. So we lost a little bit of time with that, but grazie. But you know, all in all, we managed to recover a lot of time from, you know, the spin in the beginning being like 50 seconds on the back to 20-something seconds on the lead. Still a long time to go, but everything good so far.
When we see the number 8 car, it might well be that one. That's the distance between first and second, not the cars in that 3-car group.
But just the car at the back of your screen there, the end of your screen, well, that's just a very tight line into turn 1. Very close, and that's exactly what happens for Jasmine Jafar. That wasn't cold tyres, that was just a misreading of the line.
He was basically looking to do what he could do to get by that car. I think what he's done now, though, he's got knock on the tyres. It's going to take a few corners to get rid of that.
And let's find out what Ollie has to say from FIS Team AI.
We are all talking about the new Ferrari. You had a little stint in there. How was the Ferrari for you?
Yeah, it's a great car. It's really fun. I raced the car last year in Japan as well, so I have a little bit of experience in the car. But it's good around here, you know. It's really good on the brakes into turn 1. It's stable through the high speed. It's good on its tyres, so it's, you know, I've just done an hour and 15 minutes in the car, and the fastest laps were at the end of the stint. So yeah, it's consistent. Kind of what we want, really.
That was Guy, yes, with an inside-out move. Tried to eventually pass on the inside, actually ended up losing some time.
Gets the better run out of that turn, though. Will get.
Wow, shuts it down. That is nose to tail.
Oh, good stuff. Here we go. Hans Lin
should be through.
Watch the mirrors this time. Gets it done and gets it done cleanly. Great stuff there from Guy Cosmo. Looked for the right opportunity. Got into the lead, into turn 10 and gone.
But demanded that line. He literally went through that corner and brutally demanded it.
Controlled aggression. That's what it's about.
So now that Oreca 05, we're about to find out exactly how far behind that BBT it is. They both crossed the start line.
It's
1.055 seconds. That is too close to call.
Right, and there's traffic ahead as well, which is not going to help the 37. Wants to be past this Tianchi Racing Audi running 3rd in GT as quickly as he can. That is not where he wanted to catch it. Has he got room before they get into turns 10, 11, 12? He does not want this car tucked up the inside. It's going to happen here if it's going to happen at all. He's got to get around the outside.
Wow,
the
how about that?
And the Audi's got anywhere to go. Kept away from contact.
That's unbelievable action on that corner.
It's going to happen here. Up the inside, and it's done.
Well, that was really helped along that situation by the fact that, of course, Davide Ariza couldn't even see Thomas Laurent because Thomas Laurent was on the other side of an Audi.
That was cool-headed stuff from Thomas Laurent. He saw the opportunity that the traffic offered, was looking for where the space was going to be. Where would the Audi go? That could have gone any one of a dozen ways, couldn't it?
Once again, wherever you are watching and joining us, this is the Asian Le Mans Series 2017-2018 season, round 2 from the iconic Fuji Speedway as we see turn 1, and that is the car that is leading the third of the classes, GT class, BMW M6. Behind that, the TKS Ginetta. Very nice to see the TKS Ginetta still up there. It's had its troubles throughout this race, but it's still on track.
It's still on track.
Well, it is good to see such close racing, especially in 2 of the 3 categories. 11 seconds, the top 2 in LMP2, roughly 10 seconds, no, roughly 13 seconds between Jesse Krohn and Marco Ciocci in the GT category as well. And we have the hourly update, Graham.
So into what is now the final hour, the last hour in hour 3. It was all about the Team BBT car at the front of the race. Could they hold it? Pipo Derani doing what he could to draw away. Battles in the mid-order in LMP2 between the 33 Eurasia car, the number 4 ARC Bratislava car, Marco Asma going by Mira Konopka to grab that 4th position. Number 7 getting into the mix, playing a little bit of a pick, but running off, losing the line. Jasmine Jafar having to duck out of that. In GT, the pit stops proved to be significant. Number 90 AAI Ferrari falling back behind the team car. Then it was fantastic wheel-to-wheel action, so close to contact. But Thomas Laurent, newly installed aboard the number 8 Jackie Chan DC Racing number 8 car, eventually came out the leader ahead of a fighting Team BBT with Davide Rizzo, the new driver, aboard. Gang is currently at the wheel of the car, and he's lapping at broadly similar times. It's not going to take much for the number 11 car to find itself in a battle.
Now, once again, you can see there clearly, have a look at that shot. LMP2, GT, and LMP3. Cars, all 3 classes of car in the same shot. That's absolutely beautiful to see. Of course, not for position here at all, but great to see them with that BMW of Jesse Krohn just closing in on this trio. Now that's very wide from the Audi.
Big slide from the Audi, and again that'll be looking at the mirrors. And I think to be interesting to see where they are. They're 54 minutes into a stint.
He may have been thinking exactly what I was thinking, that hey, look at that, there's a P2 and a P3.
Yeah, I think the tyres are beginning to decide that perhaps they'd like the rest of the afternoon off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go. This is Tanshy Racing. They are going to be measuring their progress against the very
reliable,
well, the very impressive form of Team AAI, much the more experienced team here, and they'll be wanting to see basically what they can do to close the gap here on performance.
Well, he doesn't want to be lapped at the moment at all, and this is Jesse Krohn has actually gone out wide now, flashing his lights, desperately wants to get through.
Now, having had the message twice that he's not going to be keen to just let him go by. I think he's going to lift off here.
It's just so difficult to get past. Oh, there it is.
Gives it up. There you go.
Oh, look at the power going uphill.
He's delivered a message. We can call that their pre-Christmas card.
Yeah, yeah. A nice one as well, signed by everyone.
Absolutely. This is from everyone in the garage to you guys.
But it really did showcase in just that shot the power of the BMW going uphill as well. Found the line, yeah, and went outside.
You know, and that was just a little bit of the Audi guys saying, "Okay, you've got this one, but we're not going to make it easy."
Not at all. Not at all.
At all.
Now look at this, coming into the pits.
Coming in hot, 44 minutes to go, and it's the lead car in the hands of Thomas Laurent. There should be fuel only for Thomas.
Wow, 31 seconds ahead of BBT.
Yeah, do they think they've got enough in hand here to play a card and put tyres on that car?
Well, I think they're looking for a power finish to the final hour of the 4 hours of Fuji.
Oh no, it's not. They're not. It's not tyres. They're cleaning something out from under the car. It's just a cleaning job. So clearly they've got a temperature issue. 37.
Wow, looks like BBT have also pitted.
There it is. There is the... So it's effectively, it's the length of pit stop apart.
There is that number 37 BBT.
And again, this should be simply fuel only, and it is. And away goes David Ritzer. Oh,
wow, that's a big lock-up from Thomas Leroy into turn 1.
And that's going to mean that the number 7 car goes through and laps itself from the team car.
Now that looks like, yeah.
Could be a flat spot. If that's got a big vibration, that could be significant. We'll wait and see.
Well, what a time to pick that up at 42 minutes left.
Just a bit of that temperature going out the tyre.
Exactly.
Thomas will have been watching his mirrors for the 7 car coming. Again, it's that concentration, it's that moment. He'll be kicking himself for that one.
And that, of course, means now Marco Ciocci just, for a lap at least, was in the lead of the GT class.
Can they retain it? They're taking tyres. That should see that this will, in which case, be one of their time stops.
And that, of course, could mean that the BMW M6 of Jesse Krohn is going to be putting up a fight for the last part of this race. Now that's the ARC Bratislava car currently in 5th, just trying to get past the LMP3 of Guy Cosmo, the lead car of the LMP3 class. He does so easily.
If they can bring that home, they'll be delighted. They felt robbed last time. The safety car that came out just at the wrong time for them. They felt they could have won that race.
Very fast cars.
Oh, now this is an interesting one. Trouble for
Jesse Krohn.
No, it's not. It's the lead car. It's the lead car. First Team AI's 91 car, the BMW, reported to the stewards for violation of mandatory pit stop time.
Well, that is interesting, isn't it? I mean,
I would presume a short pit stop, but that could dramatically affect the results in the GT class.
Absolutely. Well,
so let's wait and see what comes out of that.
Definitely, we've got about 20 minutes left now.
Here comes the number 91. Where is the Ferrari?
There you go, stop and go. That's going to be 1, 2.
And that will be it. That looked like a little longer than 2 seconds to me. But
still, yeah, 60 kilometers an hour.
And the Ferrari's through. The Ferrari is through into the lead.
Oh, that is some drastic last-minute action in the GT category. A 2-second stop-and-go penalty for Jesse Krohn from FIS Team AI, and the other FIS Team AI entrant, the Ferrari 488, manages to sneak through on turn 1. Absolutely, as you called it, Graham, perfect timing.
Well, so the last 20 minutes, yellow flags meanwhile at turn 2. Oh, there it is. That car looks to be going no further. Smoke from the rear of the car. Are we going to have drama?
Thomas Laurent and Davide Rizzo is 39.569 seconds. So Thomas Laurent is looking like he's got this one in the bag.
Well, he's just pushed. He's got the car to the lead. Didn't let up. There was a little bit of cruise mode for a short while, but they've asked him to push harder. It's going to be 40 seconds this time around. So it's been another impressive performance from the young man, Thomas Laurent. Just
yet another impressive performance, we should be saying, because he really does know how to push that car, and he does love driving that Orica 05. There is the TKS, there's Ginetta. Remember, this is the only Ginetta.
Puts in its fastest lap of the race in celebration. 1:14.020 in the hands of Utakemi.
Now, guys, don't push it too hard now. Come on, let's calm it down. Let's get to the end. 12 minutes left.
You can imagine the radio message, can't you?
You're not going to believe this. You're actually in 3rd now, and that is the BBT that we've seen a lot of today, because they have done a lot and they deserve it. But getting into Sector 3 now, not very many opportunities to get through. This is going to be probably one of the best ones for Jesse Krohn to come through, and he does.
Yep, it's forceful move.
Demands that line.
Saw him coming, let that happen. Bit of a twitch under power as they power through turns 10 and 11. 3 minutes to go, and then a lap if required.
Look at all that debris, Graham, thrown up from 146 laps from all these teams and all these 3 classes.
Thomas Laurent powering through in what will be likely the penultimate lap for this effort. Team are ready. Patrick Byrne there in the background.
Well, even at the end, he's still lapping. And David Cheng's going to be very happy. By the way, David Cheng's also going to be on the podium, and David Cheng's going to be finishing, which is going to be very happy for him.
So all 3 Jackie Chan DC racing cars this time
Well,
I mean, actually, I think they would have wanted to if all came together. They're not, you know, complacent. They would know that Team BBT had something to bring to them. They did. That made the first 3 quarters of this race.
Well, you remember when Nadia was talking to David Cheng when he got out the car, he looked very happy as well. But all the cars were running very well. Of course, that was about an hour and a half ago now. But here we are. This is Thomas Laurent coming around. I think this is home straight. Yes, he should be on home straight now.
It most certainly is. It's going to be a win for
There is that checkered flag.
And the celebration weave. And you're going to see several happy faces. There goes the winning car. There's the flashing of the lights from the number 90 car. Marco Ciocci will be a very happy boy indeed. That win coming courtesy of an error in the pit lane for the sister car. Cost them dear.
Yes, we saw them waving the checkered flag for car number 8. And this is the team. So you drove the car right home. Thomas Laurent, how do you feel right now?
Really good. It was a really good race for us. My teammate did a really good job at the end. At the start, sorry. And I just managed after the overtaking. And yeah, the car was really good. The team did a really good job.
Yes, I do have the drivers here with me now leading the LMP3 class right off the bat. How do you guys feel?
Feel amazing. You know, we came here to improve on our first race at Zhuhai and come away with either a second or first place. So I think we chose right.
Yeah, first place. I mean, how can you feel bad on the podium? So.
GT category, and that's going to be Marco Ciocci with Nadia.
Yes, we have the trio from car number 90, so it was actually the Ferrari that came out on top. How do you guys feel right now?
Yeah, obviously we're delighted. It was close right to the end of the race. We knew that the BMW was going to have a pit stop penalty from quite early on when we saw after the first stop. So yeah, it was good. We just kept pushing. Marco did a really good double stint at the end as well, and Lamieux had an awesome start. So yeah, it was good.
Now let's take a look at the full results from the 4 hours of Fuji. It was a great drive from the Jackie Chan DC Racing team as they take the win in the LMP2 class and the win in the LMP3 class as well. A great drive from Guy Cosmo and Patrick Byrne there. And in the GT class, it was FIS Team AAI that took both top and second spot with car number 90 and car number 91. All in, it was a great effort from all the teams and a wonderful day of racing up here at Fuji. In the overall standings, it is the Jackie Chan DC Racing team that lead the way in the LMP2 and LMP3 class, with FIS Team AAI well ahead in the GT category. And that brings us to the close of the 4 hours of Fuji. Wonderful scenes from the podium. Another great weekend for the Jackie Chan DC Racing team, as you can see, after a weekend that brought us a fantastic day of racing on Sunday. We'll be back in early January for the next round, a very special weekend, the 6 hours of Buriram from Thailand. Meanwhile, from the commentary box and of course all the team here in Japan, we'll see you soon.